How Sway Lee abandoned his brother. Oh shit. Did he actually abandon? Is there actually like beef between them? Chad, do y'all think Sway Lee abandoned his brother? Well, I mean, I guess we're about to find out.
From dropping absolute bangers like No Flex Zone and Black Beatles to becoming so irrelevant that nobody was even aware of their last album dropping, the story of Rae Sremmurd's downfall is a perfect example of how egos can easily rip.
The shorty I'm intimate with is at a party while I'm in bed watching you. My brother, I don't know how to tell you this. I don't know how to tell you. You know what? I'm not even going to say that. She's just having a good time, bro. Trust me, nothing is happening. All right, bro? Nothing is happening. She's just being happy right now. You feel me? Just taking her mind off of some stressful shit she's been going through recently. Like, don't even worry about it, bro. Don't even worry about it, bro. Don't even worry about it, bro. Like, you're going it's just going to be fine, bro. Just keep the stream pulled up, bro. You're going to be all right.
A group apart, no matter how close the parties involved were to each other. Cause as you may know, Slim Jimmy and Sway Lee were just two broke brothers from Tupelo, Mississippi with big dreams and an unbreakable bond who would constantly support each other through thick and thin.
This is a crazy story. One time he took the bully of the neighborhood's girlfriend, right? And I'm the one who had to fight him.
Even if it meant being thrown out of their mama's house for constantly skipping school to record, they were willing to do anything it took to make it to the mainstream. As time went on, the brothers teamed up with a group known as Them Outta Straight Boys in the late 2010s, dropping music that sounded similar to that of Soulja Boy or LMFAO. Left with no option but to keep trying to make their dreams a reality, the brothers lived in a house with no heat, no gas, and they kept working day after day trying to get someone to pay attention to their music.
We was living in this little abandoned house.
Nah, but do y'all remember when Rae Sremmurd was really taking over type? Like, they was everywhere, bro. You couldn't go nowhere without hearing them, bro. Like, that shit was like crazy. Like, their blow up was like monumental. I feel like, you know, we always hear about shit like this happening with like rap music and all that. But like Rae Sremmurd was like, that was crazy. But I feel like what ends up happening to a lot of artists is like, I forgot who I heard say this shit. Maybe y'all will know. But like, you have your entire life to make your first album. And then you only have about a year to continue like your second one or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like literally your whole life, you're working on your craft, perfecting your craft and doing all that shit and doing what makes you unique. So then when you do that and you finally get that attention you've been craving, now it's like, okay, now what do you do with it? Now you got to do it again, or you gotta evolve, or you gotta advance. You know, like, okay, what's next? You feel me? So it's like, damn. It's like, it's really fucked up when you think about it, bro. Like, being an artist is not easy.
And we wasn't gonna be sad in no abandoned house because that's just gonna make worse. So we just, making music, inviting friends over, inviting girls over, partying, loud music.
Sway Lee even claimed that at one
Always
point,
sucks seeing someone fall off. I don't like using the term fall off. That sounds like, I don't know, that sounds like mad disrespectful to me. Like, I feel like if you're an artist, I think most artists' journey do not end with them being relevant forever. Like, there's rare exceptions, right? The Drakes, the K-Dots, you know, the J. Cole's, the Ye's, like shit like that. These are dudes that like have attained relevancy forever, but most artists, that doesn't happen. It sucks seeing artists fail to keep their momentum stable. Yeah, something like that, you know? But also, I just feel like some art, and I don't even think it's a bad thing though, to like have an artist like not keep up that momentum, because sometimes an artist is really good for that time. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like clothing. Like, there's some times where, like, for example, this hoodie I'm wearing, I love these hoodies. I love these hoodies. But there's going to come a point in time where a hoodie like this is not in style no more. You feel me? And now I can't wear my favorite hoodie no more. And it's like, damn, like, did my hoodie fall off, or did just, like, life change? You feel me? Or did life just change? You know, my needs change, so now I don't need this hoodie no more. You dig me? It's kind of like that. I will kill you if you come to me with Echo Unlimited on now. Bro, Echo used to be my shit, though. Echo got me through some tough times. Echo Unlimited used to be that gas. What is we talking about? type shit. What brand is it? So this sweater that I got on right now, it's not like a brand, right? So like there's like shops. Oh, whoops, my whole entire chat just disappeared. There's shops that are in China type shit that like you can shop at if you know how to use like a middleman shopping website. So I use something like Panda Buy to get this. And pretty much what this sweater is, it's like the blanks that like Ye used in his Gap collab with the Dove sweater on it. It's pretty much the same exact quality as that, except it doesn't have like the Dove and all the branding and shit on it type shit. And this is my favorite hoodie I own. It's like a double layered hoodie and shit. It's just gas.
They were so down bad that his ex ended up leaving him for a truck driver. Despite the fact that they had a relatively difficult come up, the two remained adamant on not doing music for money, but rather it was to simply have fun. But in 2013, everything changed. Through sheer persistence and hard work, they somehow managed to grab the attention of Mike Will Made It, who helped them ink a deal with Eardrummers Entertainment. So the brothers packed up their belongings and started a new life in Atlanta without a second thought.
When they heard us and they gave us like an opportunity to leave Tupelo, Mississippi and just come to Atlanta. And just keep
what Mike was that? I believe that was the road to NC1A.
Off their beats. What we had was we left our crib and everything.
Yeah.
And just took the risk.
After coining the name Rae Sremmurd by putting a creative spin on Eardrummers, the two would go on to release their debut project titled SremmLife.
Look, I don't think I was ever the biggest fan of Rae Sremmurd, just me personally. Obviously, I feel like Rae Sremmurd like will always have a song or a few songs that like you're gonna like. They got a song for everybody, you know. But yo, when SremmLife came out, yo, chat. When SremmLife came out, man, I know a lot of you guys were like a bit younger when this album came out, but I'm sure you guys realized the motion this album had, you know. But being like, how old was I when this shit came? I'm not even gonna say that because I'm not gonna get damned. But like being outside when this album came out, like that was just a different vibe.
On January 6th, 2015, and two songs off this album called No Flex Zone and No Type, absolutely.
I'm not gonna lie, No Type to this day, still hard. I'm gonna be honest, chat. No Type to this day, still hard.
Absolutely exploded into the mainstream. Two songs that combined for a whopping 1.3 billion views on YouTube alone. Now, later in this video, we'll discuss how hits like these were actually a double-edged sword and would also play a role in their downfall. But it was here where they immediately caught the attention of the masses, precisely because it, quote, didn't sound like anything else. The album hit the ground running, landing at number 5 on the Billboard charts, instantly making them the life of every party playlist. Next thing you know, the two were everywhere. Cover of The Fader, interviews with Nardwuar, Breakfast Club, Tim Westwood, world tours, you name it.
Ooh, yikes. We not jacking Tim Westwood no more, bro. You know what, Tim Westwood, one of those dudes that when the shit started coming out about him, I was like, how did I not see that coming?
Being complete nobodies the year prior, to having their songs played all over the radio, with both critics and fans idolizing them like crazy. Of course, like many overnight stars, they also had their fair share of criticism.
Raul Smith, what the fuck is this? Seriously, what the actual fuck is this? Is this what you kids call rap music nowadays?
God, this, I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but this shit is so tired, bro. Like, every time there's new music that come out or a new kind of music or a new kind of rap or whatever, it's always going to get downplayed. People are always going to talk shit about it. Always, always, always. You know, and honestly, it's just people that don't have any forward thinking skills at all. You know, they hear something that's out of the norm. They hear something that they're not used to or whatever. And people I feel like are so habitual, they don't like change. You know, and it's like, bro, you guys are just corny as fuck. And I think the corniest thing about it is that all the labels that were put upon or thrust upon rap music at this time are still talked about today. Like, people are still talking about, oh, you listen to mumble rap? Like, bro, oh my God, you should fucking yourself, man. Like, you should yourself, man. Like, honestly, on God, you should fucking yourself, dog. Like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I was saying you should love yourself, by the way. I don't know where that beeping was coming from. That was really weird. I think the FBI guy tapping into my microphone type shit.
This shit is garbage, man.
However, for the most part, they remained positive and would constantly maintain the focus of just keeping it simple, making what they thought was good music.
Yeah, we just making great music. We ain't trying to make mathematical music or nothing like that.
Whenever they say shit like that, it's almost like an unconscious cosign because they almost immediately blow up afterwards. That's actually true as shit. I'm pretty sure that happens literally every time.
dropping music that's gonna make you be like, damn.
By the time they dropped their SremmLife 2 project in 2016, it looked like nothing could stop them.
Nothing.
Or more accurately, that they could stop the whole world with a track like Black Beatles, which gained...
Bro. Black Beatles. That's a classic. That is a classic song. That is a classic song. Deadass. That shit is classic. We gonna get you a pair of Cartiers. Hey, bro. I spent a couple $100 on these Ray-Bans. I'm not trying to spend no more on some Cartiers, bro. Unless y'all funding my Cartiers, then like we can do that. We can talk. If y'all funding my Cartiers, we can talk. But I spent about $180 on these Ray-Bans. It's about the limit I'm willing to spend on blue light filter glasses.
Massive popularity as it became synonymous with the mannequin challenge.
Yo, this song is so good.
Not only did the track secure its place as their debut #1 single, but they were one of the
Nah,
first
let's talk
artists
about
to...
it. Life got substantially worse after 2016. Like, I feel like after 2016, every year got worse and worse and worse until we had the great crash of 2020. And now, like, life is never gonna go back to how it was, bro. Like, for some reason, 2017 was the start of like the multiple universes splitting, and then 2020 was like our Nexus event.
Really showcase how songs can absolutely explode.
2016 was when Trump got elected. Like I said, take me back. I'm joking. But look, that was towards the end of 2016. That's what I'm saying, though. And he didn't get inaugurated until 2017, though, in January. So, like, technically 2016 was still gas.
Stupid trend on social media. And mind you, this was literally a decade.
This is going to sound corny, but it all went downhill when Harambe got shot. Yo, what are we doing?
Before TikTok even became a thing.
And we started like the whole challenge era.
Oh, yeah, the viral
maybe
challenge
kicked off the TikTok video wave, you know what I'm saying? Before TikTok. Yeah, pre-TikTok.
We made TikTok.
It's no exaggeration to say that at that point in time, Rae Sremmurd were one of the hottest things in hip-hop. And between 2014 and 2018, they never released a single that went less than gold.
That's
over time.
crazy.
That's pretty insane. And
yeah,
with
that's
that kind
crazy.
of track record, it seemed unimaginable that they would ever part ways. However, the same reasons they rose so meteorically were the same reasons their empire began to crash and burn. The first problem Rae Sremmurd began to encounter was something known as the sidekick effect. This is something that a YouTuber by the name of Bobalam described perfectly.
A phenomenon by which a rapper duo, usually labeled loosely as a collective or frequent unofficial collaborators, rise to fame together in a meteoric fashion due to their strong chemistry. However, as one artist eventually starts to outpace the other in streams or fame, the other tends to be almost forgotten entirely.
When you think back to any song that you can remember from the duo, it's one thing and one thing only: Sway Lee's hooks. It was Sway's hook that became a staple amongst the Mannequin Challenge videos, which made Black Beatles a #1 smash worldwide. And the same can be said for songs like No Type and No Flex Zone, all of which Slim Jimmy's verses are pretty forgettable. And unfortunately for Rae Sremmurd, this is where the problems began. One user summed it up good.
Damn.
With all honesty, we know Sway Lee is the star of Rae Sremmurd, and he gave Mike Will a lot more buzz in hip-hop ever since No Flex Zone came out. Slim Jimmy is important, but Sway Lee is the main success.
I feel like that's so destructive, though, because you don't know what their process is like. Like, you don't know if Slim Jimmy really is the genius mind behind Sway Lee, and maybe Sway Lee is just the dude that has that charisma on the mic, that has that melodic voice, that has the talent to bring that out, right? Like, for example, like when Drake was getting called out for all those ghostwriting allegations or whatever, when we heard Quentin Miller say the same exact shit Drake said for his reference tracks, it sounded fucking whack. You know, like, obviously, you know, Quentin Miller was a big part to a lot of those songs for Drake. He was, like, you know, orchestrating a lot of those songs. But, like, Drake is what made it sound that good, right? So, like, to say that Slim Jimmy wasn't important, or that to say that like Sway Lee just carries, like you don't know how important Slim Jimmy is to that whole process. You feel me? So I just feel like that's like, I don't like that shit. And that's the case with a lot of musicians in general. Like a lot of rappers or musicians or whatever have so many people in the studio and you don't know who's contributing to what. You feel me? Maybe like just having that person there like puts you in a vibe to like perform your best, Now obviously Sway Lee would go on to like do meteoric things as a solo act, as a feature artist on different hooks and stuff like that. But still, with those Rae Sremmurd songs in particular, like you don't know how involved Slim Jimmy is. To say that Sway Lee's part is only because of Sway Lee, I think is disingenuous, because you don't know like what Slim Jimmy had to do with that. Like we all know Sway Lee gonna carry a hook because he just got that good voice for it. You feel me? But that to say that he's doing it on his own is insane. Keep it real, there isn't a single vocalist writing their own music. Nah, that's real shit. Nah, that's real. Most vocalists ain't writing shit. Like there are the singer-songwriter types, but I feel like as soon as the singer-songwriter like starts to bubble up a little bit, they immediately start getting writers. And I'm not even saying that's a bad thing. Like it's whatever you do to like make the song the best it can be. Like, I'm not even against using writers. Like do whatever you need to do to make that song as good as possible. But like you can't just say that one person like carries everything.
Success here. While some fans truly did enjoy Slim Jimmy's presence, the intensity of this
Drake is an entertainer. Drake isn't a worse. Now wait a minute. I don't think we should discount Drake's pen. I think Drake does have an elite pen. But the reason why Drake is where he's at is not because of his pen. I mean, let's be for real. It's because Drake is entertaining. Like you said. So I agree with that. But I do think Drake has a better pen than a lot of people give him credit for. But I mean, yeah, like Drake just has that cadence. He knows how to make virality poppin' type shit. Like he knows how to do that. So like that's why he's in the position he's in right now. Big facts. I know you're not talking about dick riding. I know that who I think it is. Did I just butcher that shit?
This chatter ramped up to the point that they began lashing out against it in interviews. For instance, in 2016, Slim Jimmy spoke to Complex about the forces that he felt were out to destroy their bond and tear them apart. The whole industry is going to do shit to separate us. We got separate tracks because we can both rap. After Black Beatles came out, the secret was out that Sway Lee had the melodies that had the power to move major units. Without even trying, he ended up as a co-writer on one of the biggest smashes of Beyonce's career. After giving the idea to Mike Will made it. Suddenly, Sway had his first Grammy nomination, and that's a feat that Rae Sremmurd has
I didn't even know that.
never managed.
I'm not gonna lie.
To this day. But that was only a drop in the ocean compared to the love Sway would get for his work on Unforgettable featuring French Montana.
I forgot about that song. Oh my God, that shit was so gas. But yo, when French Montana would hop on, oh brother, yo, that just brought me back. Unforgettable that song is not good. I'm sorry, Scoobs. I hope you lay down in front of a train track. The Sway Lee part is good. That's what we talking about though. That's what obviously French Montana is ass. But like, bro, it's worth listening to the French Montana verses to get to the Sway Lee hook. And I'm gonna say this, bro. Some of the best things in life, you feel me? You gotta experience pain and downfall before you can experience the goodness in life. Like how could you appreciate the great things that life has to offer unless you've gone through some bad shit first? Tell you shit.
The song of the summer almost the second it came out, Sway Lee completely carried this track, and it became one of the most iconic moments of his entire career.
You know what's funny? French Montana has a lot of like high charting songs and a lot of really good hits, but it's never because of him, right? Like he's always getting carried. But how is he always so good at getting carried? Did you ever think about that? maybe he has more to do with these songs than we know. Because like there's no way a man gets carried that frequently on accident. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, maybe he just has a good ear. But like he has a good ear, but that don't mean he got a good mouth type shit. Wait, pause.
I'm joking that without Sway, the song would just be forgettable. While the Beyonce assist was relatively low-key, having Sway's hook playing from speakers all over the world made him a star, in a way that he was removed from the Rae Sremmurd name. Suddenly, Sway had his own Wikipedia page, while Slim still doesn't have one to this day.
That's
With
fucked
Unforgettable
up.
taking over the world, the talk turned back to the possibility of Sway breaking out on his own, with notable figures in the commentary space such as Joe Budden saying,
Hey, Slim Jim, hate to break it to you, buddy.
In any group,
Y'all are separating.
However, the boys continued to maintain that there were no issues between them that had led to this, even confronting Joe Budden face to face for his comments.
This is what you said. Jimmy, Sway gonna leave you. This is how you was talking. When Sway leave you, you just gonna flop. Man, you got me, man, all the way messed up. We brothers though, you know what I'm saying? So like,
Damn.
this ain't the first time people done said that about me. This been going on for a long time.
With everything that was about to come, revisiting that moment seems like Sway was maybe a little too quiet. As from here, Sway would be a go-to guy from hooks, while Jimmy had to fend off accusations of jealousy. In the interviews, he tried to stress that it wasn't his little bro's success that bothered him, but the world's perspective on how he should feel about it. If people see me out and I have a stank face on, they think I'm mad because of that. But I'm mad because they want me to be mad. I'm always singing Unforgettable when it comes on in the club, but people look at me like, is it okay if I dance to this? There's no competition, we're brothers. At the end of the day, we're getting a bag. Now, Jimmy might have felt like this at the time, but around that same period, Sway's mind was likely set on greener pastures, to the point that he wasn't even reserving his biggest tracks as collabs between him and his brother anymore, and was looking for big names like Justin Bieber to fulfill the role he was looking for. But considering that Sway Lee clearly wanted to carve out his own musical identity at this point, it was no surprise that their third album, SremmLife 3, was a little different in terms of structure. Dropped on May 4th, 2018, the boys dropped an entire 3-disc album. One filled with
I did not listen to this shit, I'm not
one
gonna
made
lie.
up of solely Sway Lee songs, and another where Slim Jimmy took center stage. The result felt like a compromise, and it made for one of the most inconsistent bodies of work in their catalog. While it seemed like the fact that they managed to drop an album together meant that they were on the same page, it would soon become clear that it didn't do anything to soothe the mounting unease between Jimmy and Sway.
Damn.
In January of 2019, just 7 months before their third album dropping, Slim Jimmy took to Twitter for an explosive series of posts. Delivered just hours after they had wrapped up a performance in Australia with Nicki Minaj, Jimmy spoke out and formally left the group, saying things like he's not SremmLife and that he's gonna sink or swim by himself.
I did not know this. Does this motherfucker got like a Bobobo anime profile picture type shit?
And that he's gonna sink or swim by himself.
I don't
Even
remember
going
this shit
as far
happening,
as to
actually.
retweet a fan who claimed that he was giving the haters what they wanted and responded to someone who said that it had happened because Sway left him off another hit. It basically showed that after years of the world acting like he played second fiddle to his younger brother, Jimmy had enough. When a tweet from the duo's official account said that they were still together after all, he dismissed it. It didn't take
Chat. I feel kind of conflicted about this, right? Because, like, if you're Sway Lee and you could see your career really blowing up and blossoming, like, if you're a solo act, but, like, you know that you came up with your brother type shit, like, what would you do in that situation? Like, would you still continue with Rae Sremmurd? I feel like the best thing he could have done is maintain as a solo act, right? But not leave his brother behind. Like, I feel like I get you want to do your solo thing, but like you still got to put your brother on tracks. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's your brother, right? Like, I could never just like leave my brother out because like we came up together, you know? Like, I get like, you know, when you're faced with like, you know, the fame and when you're faced with like that legacy, you know, you want to chase that. And I understand that and I can respect that, but you can't just ghost your brother off of #1 tracks like that. Like, that's crazy. Cause like the thing is, I get you might want to like the song might be better and you might be able to like and get more clicks or generate more hype if you got like Bieber on your song instead of Slim Jimmy. But you had number ones with Slim Jimmy before. You know, you went gold, you went plat with Slim Jimmy before. You know, so Slim Jimmy isn't gonna like isn't going to take away from your success. And I feel like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like it's a tough situation. But like knowing like the relationship that I have with my brother, like I could never like just leave my brother behind type shit. I could never do that. Like I could understand probably focusing a little bit more on the solo act stuff. But you got to include your brother in it too, though.
Long for Jimmy's posts to all be deleted, but there was something broken at that moment.
But then again, maybe that's because I'm the older brother. Maybe if I was the younger brother, it might be different. Because maybe like as the older brother, like I feel like I have to like, you know, protect my younger brother or put on for my younger brother or like make sure my younger brother is good. Maybe as the younger brother, you kind of like the situations are not exactly the same. So, but yeah, I don't know.
The label nor Sway Lee could quite cover up. Even after he told the world that only real ones know what was really going on between them, as well as the fact that they were going to be brothers forever, what definitely didn't help was how the world responded to the news of Jimmy's departure, where everyone seemed like they just didn't care.
As the younger one, I definitely developed a need to branch off from the inspiration/influence of my older brother, not out of spite, but just to figure myself out as an individual. That makes a lot of sense. That could be what was at play here, you know? And I feel like there's also like a level of ego as an older brother, you know? Like, so for example, you know, my younger brother is way more accomplished than me in terms of like academia type shit. You know, like he went to college, he got a really good degree, and he has a job in his major, and like he's very like well accomplished in terms of like academic shit, right? So like obviously as an older brother, I'm really proud of him. And I'm like, yo, like that's gas, right? But I've had people in my life be like, damn, like your younger brother like doing better than you type shit. And it's like, bro, like why you even gotta like make it that? You know, like I'm happy for my younger brother for doing some shit that I could never do. And I think the thing is like, I think it's really inspiring as well because like as my younger brother, like we both grew up in the same circumstances. And despite the fact that we grew up in the same circumstances, we were both able to find success in very different ways. And I think that shit is really cool. Like against all odds, against the horrible school systems that we were put through, like he was able to graduate from a really good college and get a really good job at a really big company. That's fire. Like knowing where we came from together, like that's crazy. And I think that shit is so dope to see that, you know? But like there was definitely a point though, because like obviously as, you know, as your younger brother, being your younger brother, like he's looking to you for a lot of guidance and shit like that. And there had to come a point where it's like, okay, do I want to go down the path my brother's going down, or do I want to like, you know, Miles Morales, now I'm gonna do my own thing. And then he did his own thing. And it's good that he did that, because the path that I went down was a stupid fucking path of dropping out of school and pursuing content creation like a dumb fuck. Don't do that shit, chat. Don't do that shit, chat. But that's another good thing about being like the older sibling type, is that you get to be the blueprint for either what to do or what not to do, right? So my brother could learn from my failures or whatever, I guess you could say, because it ended up kind of working out for me, I guess. But like, regardless, like you could end up learning from what I do and and know what steps to take to not go down or not make the same mistakes that I did type shit, you know? We also don't know if someone was influencing Sway Lee. That's probably another big part too. Entertainment industry, like, look, bro, you the hook, you the draw, your brother's holding you back. Like, if you keep making songs with your brother, like, you guys are going to lose everything. And I could imagine, like, having all that pressure on you as the younger brother, you know, as a kid, pretty much. Like, you don't want to, like, lose everything you sacrificed your whole life for type shit. You don't want to lose that. And they could definitely get in your ear with that shit. Like, that's a good point, too. That is a good point.
He left. Slim Jimmy is like cardboard in a roll of toilet paper. It's not totally necessary, but I don't mind that it's there. I think he feels as if he's in Sway's shadow. Even other rappers such as Trippie Redd replied to an IG post covering the story where he wrote, "He finally realized we only listening to Sway's parts, LMAO." Just months after that incident, and with no sign of SremmLife 4 dropping, Sway Lee would go on to release Sunflower with Post Malone, which was yet again another record-breaking hit. It became Sway's first track as a soloist to hit #1. Since then, it's gone on to have the 4th highest streams in Spotify history with nearly 3 billion. This would be another
really
notch
can't
that
talk.
would lead to
That is true. You want to talk about somebody who lost his way, man. What up, Actual? You know what's fucked up too? What was that most recent Trippie Redd album? Man, that shit tricked the fuck out of me. I was listening to it, I was like, wait a minute. Trippie Redd might be back. He was not back, chat.
Industry and fans making a case for Sway Lee
He was
as
not back,
king of
chat.
the hooks, as not only being one of the most valuable guest spots in the genre, but once again the driving force behind
His recent,
Rae
I don't know how much
success.
shit he's dropped
Once
recently.
again, it felt like Jimmy was being collectively kicked while he was down. At the same time, he would still return to Twitter again to cite that he and Jimmy were good and that more solo work was on the way, as well as the long-awaited SremmLife 4. But as we would learn, this was a half-truth at best. Whether he had intentionally did it or not, Sway Lee left his brother struggling to get any semblance of credit for everything they had achieved. Meanwhile, he reaped the rewards of that time period where it seemed like everything he touched just turned to gold, as Jimmy's life began spiraling out of control. Over time, he had numerous scrapes with the law, including his involvement in a brawl where a man was stabbed and he was seen fleeing covered in blood. Later in 2022,
I
he
did
was
not hear
arrested
about
on
this.
domestic battery charges, with his baby mama posting receipts online. While this was all going down, Sway Lee's solo album still failed to materialize, and some of his singles like Sextasy never really took off, even with the help of a Drake feature. In fact, that one spawned a legendary meme from Joe Budden.
Hey, Sway Lee, hear me and hear me good, nigga. I'm here to double down. That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
That's where that came
the fuck
from?
are you talking about? That shit stinks.
With tracks
I thought that was from the Eminem review. I didn't know that shit was from Sway Lee. Motherfucker was that pressed over a Sway Lee song?
He's failing to launch, it looked like Sway's hopes of releasing Human Nature, which he once built as a revolutionary project, were dwindling.
It's gonna be huge. Like, I'm breaking all the rules. I'm breaking all the boundaries. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like making my own song formats and everything. Like doing some production on there and everything. Got crazy features. Like some of my favorite artists are on there. So.
But soon, music would be the furthest thing from either of the brothers' minds when tragedy would strike. After horrific news broke that Sway Lee's dad passed away, and you'll never guess who pulled the trigger.
My dad, my pops. Yeah, he passed away recently. I have 3 brothers. Allegedly, the police say my youngest brother, he shot my dad, like, killed my dad. Like.
What?
And it's like my brother killed my dad. It's like unbelievable. Like, you can't even imagine. Like,
yo, what the fuck? I did not hear about this shit. Chad, did y'all hear about this? Yo, what the fuck?
I'm out of a movie, you know? I'm still dealing with it. Like, I don't even know how to deal with it all the way completely. Like, it's traumatic, like, but it's like, it just put like fury inside you. It put like fire inside you.
Left to grieve their father and all the pain that came with their family being destroyed like that, Sway Lee's output slowed down to just random features, while Slim Jimmy remained inactive. Eventually, the two would regroup and reunite publicly, finally dropping SremmLife 4 in April of 2023. But looking at the less than stellar reviews, the absence of a hit song, and a chart position peaking at number 28, it seemed like the peak of their musical career might be behind them. The album performed worse than any of their previous works in terms of first week sales, and that unique spark and excitement that used to define their music isn't as vibrant as it once was.
It is the most terrible Rae Sremmurd project yet. I am feeling a light 2 on it.
Shit.
During the promo circuit for the album,
It was that
Sway
bad?
basically acted like his solo run didn't ever threaten to eclipse Rae Sremmurd, and that it was always about the duo.
No matter what I do, like I always think about Rae Sremmurd, you know what I'm saying? I want to be Rae Sremmurd, like, you know what I'm saying? But even when I'm branching off doing other things, it's like I'm always coming home to Rae Sremmurd, you know what I'm saying? Like Rae Sremmurd's baby, my bass, like, shit, me and bro, we
I'm
rocking.
not gonna lie. It sounds like when a piece of shit dude is like always cheating on his girl. He's like, yeah, I might step out. Yeah, I might cheat. Yeah, I might fuck other bitches. But who do I come home to every night? I come home to you every night, baby. Like you're the one for me. You my love type shit. Like don't worry about all that other bullshit. Like I went diamond without you. But like who did I come back to though?
We came out the hood together.
As for Jimmy, the time away from the spotlight gave him time to reflect on the sense that Sway was more important to the group than he was. And for a while, Jimmy totally believed this to be the case too.
But I felt like I wasn't carrying my weight as an artist, and I'm very critical of myself, you know what I'm saying? I never even felt like it was a thing of importance because I'm not in competition with him. Like I done made it from nothing. We came from Mississippi, like we came from nothing. We made it so far.
Even if the industry was happy to leave his brother to slowly sink into obscurity, Sway Lee wasn't going to do that. And not enough credit is given to him for standing by his brother's side. Maybe it was regret over what had happened, his father's death putting things into perspective, or Sway realizing that the brand was simply stronger together. They're back together for better or worse. At the moment, both of them are talking about solo projects, but the buzz for those is way lower than it would have been in previous years.
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm still gonna root for them though. You feel me? Like Rae Sremmurd is just like too important to the history of music for me to like shit talk them or just be like, oh, they fell off type shit. Like, you know, I still believe in them. I think they can still do it. Like I think Sway Lee to this day still has a lot of uniqueness to like the songs he's made, you know? So like I don't doubt that they can recapture that energy again. Like I think they could easily do that. You know, I'm rooting for them though.